Chairman Wiggum, Vice Chairman Stevens, Ranking Member Kelly, and members of the State and Local Government Committee, thank you for allowing me to provide sponsored testimony for HB618. If you'll indulge me for just a moment, I ask all of you to imagine you're a newly elected rep. You went door to door, participated in debates, interviews, and handed out literature across your area. You talked to hundreds of thousands of people, told them why you thought they should vote for you, how it would better their lives, businesses, schools, etc. You then left that choice in their very capable hands. Voting day comes and your constituents took what you said and the information provided to them and made a well-informed decision to elect you based on what was best for them and their family, their business, their schools, etc. Now imagine the rep that you defeated didn't believe your constituents were adult enough to make that decision, came in behind you, and issued an order invalidating their very vote. I imagine it would infuriate you. Now imagine not having any recourse to dispute that decision, nowhere to provide the reasons for why you made the decisions you made, or why your decision should have been allowed to be your own without interference. Imagine the hopelessness you would feel. Now you know how we feel. My name is Boyer Younkin. I am a mother of 3 boys, and I stand in front of you today representing myself, other moms out there just like me, and those that we seem to have forgotten in all of this. Our children, our teachers, and our schools. These mandates have stripped away the ability for family members to decide whether or not they can see other relatives in the hospital during the hospital, nursing homes, rehab centers, etc. My great niece Logan is an example of this. She is 13. Her dad was in the hospital with a blood clot on his brain. The doctors told him they were not sure how he was even alive. They weren't sure he was going to survive. He asked every nurse and doctor he saw day in and day out to see his daughter. Day in and day out, he was denied his request because of the governor's mandates. He never had COVID, neither did his daughter. By the grace of God, he lived, and since being released from the hospital, he's been able to see his daughter. But imagine if that hadn't happened. Imagine if he had passed, was never given the opportunity to hug her, nor her to hug him. Imagine if that was you. How would you feel? How would your children feel? These mandates have broken our teachers. I'm not sure that any of you realize how much of an impact these mandates have had on our teachers and our schools. Our teachers don't just teach our children English, math, reading, and science. Our teachers are role models, nurturers, mentors. They hug our kids when they have a bad day, when their parents can't be there. They go up to them in class and say, "Hey, are you okay?" They know which kids come in hungry, thirsty, or need a clean shirt. How many of them can actually give them those things now? We can't share things in classrooms anymore. You can't hug a child when they're sick or sad, or they just need that inspiration. I'm here to tell you that my 25-year-old would not have made it out of high school had it not been for teachers taking him aside, giving him a hug, smiling, telling him it will be okay. During church on Sunday, 2 ladies from a local district asked for all of us to pray for the teachers, for the administration, and the students. They are not okay. These same mandates are now imposing instructions on our children that go directly against the social and emotional interactions that are so important to our children. They are now 6 feet apart, one way in hallways. Bathroom breaks are different. You have to make sure they stay a certain distance apart on the playground. Has anyone actually thought of or realized the emotional and psychological impact this will have on them for years? The thought that every time they go near someone, They may get sick, get someone else sick, or kill their grandmother. Imagine carrying that around as a primary and elementary student, even junior high. Imagine what they think when they desperately need that hug from their teacher, or they just want to hug that teacher because they love that teacher. Imagine how they feel when they can't play tag, Red Rover, or any other game that will cause them to get too close, or just to be a child. I chose to full online remote learning this year because I did not want my 9-year-old to go through what many children are going through now. My son is a sweet boy. He is a hugger. He likes to go to other kids and help. He likes to hand things out. He likes to share. He and his friends last year would be shoulder to shoulder at the lunch table, laughing and joking, swapping things from their lunches. He wouldn't have been able to do those things this year. It broke my heart to not send him to school. He asked me every day, "When can I go back to school, Mom? I want to see my friends. I want to play with them." I know I made the right choice for him and his heart, but now his grades are suffering due to the online environment he is in, and the fact that he doesn't have that teacher there to go over to him, tap him on the shoulder to keep him on task. He doesn't have the teachers there to quietly give him that one-on-one for 5 minutes. He is on a Zoom with about 7 other kids. We are blessed that the teacher we have is so very patient. She truly loves what she does, and it shows. She wants what's best for our kids. All of our teachers do. But there's only so much she can do. We are very blessed that we have the babysitter we have, because she takes the brunt of the responsibility for us as parents. But it's a challenge that should not be hers. My 20-year-old was to play football. His team and every other football team was told to wear masks, social distance, etc. We want to play. They did this for months. They did what they were asked. So did we. We gave up certain things for our children. Then the rug was swept out from underneath them. Do any of you realize what that did to any of those boys? They did as they were asked for months. Again, only to have it pulled out from underneath them by additional mandates that forced colleges, universities, high schools, and junior highs to change course after promising our kids, "You do this, this is what you'll get." As for me, every time a new mandate comes out of the news that one is coming, I cringe. I think, for the love of God, what now? What is it now that we have to do, because what we've done in the past isn't good enough, despite evidence that it is? How will I tell my child that we can't go to the park? We can't go out to the park now because you have to wear a mask outside. And try to explain to it while I'm still trying to wrap my own head around it. Then you feel another weight on your shoulders and your heart. How much more hopelessness can I endure? Because there is no one to talk to and say, "Hey, wait, this isn't right. There are other ways." Then you feel abandoned because there is no clear person or entity that you can go to for help. There's no recourse if you feel this is wrong. And no matter how long you scream or how loud, you don't feel as though you're being heard. Then you begin to question, why in the world is this happening? Who do you go to? Who is going to listen? Who is going to stand up for you? The toll this has taken on me mentally, emotionally, and physically is unbearable at times. I have cried. I have screamed. I have felt angry and alone. I have lost weight, been unable to sleep most nights, and then I wake up in the morning and for a brief moment, I think, it's a good day. And then it hits me that the nightmare isn't over. I wonder what new orders our governor will issue today. what will again crush what little we have and our children have left. I wonder what else can I do to help not only myself and my family, but those out there who are just like me. I have a friend who's a server. Governor DeWine's mandates have severely limited her restaurant's capacity. She survives on tips. No guests, no tables, no income. She doesn't qualify for unemployment. I have another friend in church. She is a school aide. Schools are now remote. She doesn't qualify either for unemployment. She is now left without income, no recourse. And in the meantime, the children that she services has no aid. But this is what I can do. I can ask you to vote yes on this bill and move it forward, and ensure that any orders moving forward are brought in front of the General Assembly, that both sides be allowed to provide reasons for and against it, that a fair and reasonable debate be held with and by all members of the General Assemblies, that Ohioans also have the ability to speak on it as well, that a vote be had, yea or nay, just as we are today, as it is required by law. I'd like to address a previous statement made, if I may. Representative Kelly, I am one of those essential workers. I have worked since the beginning of this, but I am not, I hate that word. I am no more essential than anybody else in this building, anybody else in this country. I am not deemed essential by the government. My worth and whether or not I'm essential comes from my God. I have absolutely no problem working so that everybody else can get their goods. But that does not mean that what I need or what I think I want for my health is any better than anybody else's want or their need or their choice. I thank you for allowing me to take this time to speak. I will be submitting written testimony in support of Senate Bill 311. I thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Representative Kelly.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. I just want to, let the record reflect, while the witness and I don't agree on everything in her testimony, I do think we agree that there are a lot of people that have been working hard throughout this entire pandemic who bring a great deal of value to the state. So on that, we definitely agree.
Yeah, thank you.